You taste cigarette smoke and antiseptic at the same time because the place is pretending to be a hospital and a prison without admitting it. A nurse's shoes squeak down the hall. A clipboard clicks. Somewhere behind a door, someone is crying in that thin, dehydrated way that means they've been crying for hours. You tell yourself you're only stepping out for air, only stepping out for a smoke, because that's the only sentence here that doesn't sound like surrender. The patio is boxed in by brick and bright lights that make night feel like an interrogation. You can feel eyes on you even when nobody is looking. You're famous enough that your name is a diagnosis now, but in here, you're just another wristband, another file, another problem to be managed. They call you the voice of a generation, but you can't even own your own evening. And this isn't even the worst part. The worst comes when you realize how quickly you can disappear, and how many people will still be holding contracts with your name on them. You drag in smoke. Your lungs answer with a wet little protest. Your throat, already shredded from weeks of forcing sound out of damaged tissue, tightens like it's trying to protect you from your own life. Beyond the wall, Los Angeles hums like nothing matters. You put your hands on the brick. It's rough and cold. You feel the ridiculousness of it. International headlines and sold-out arenas. And here you are, measuring your freedom in handholds. You pull yourself up. For a second, your heart thuds so hard you think the staff will hear it through the wall. Your palms sting. Your jeans snag. You swing a leg over, and you're suddenly balanced between two worlds. The clean, monitored one where everyone says recovery like it's a product, and the real one where you can fail in private. You drop down on the other side, and your ankles jar up your spine. Pain flashes white, then settles into its familiar dark ache. You don't run. Running would admit guilt. You just walk, fast enough to look purposeful, slow enough to look like you belong. Your mouth tastes like metal. Your head is full of one thought that keeps changing shape. Get out. Get quiet. Get gone. A week earlier, you're in a hotel room in Rome, and it's so expensive it feels unreal, like you're renting someone else's life for the night. The carpet swallows footsteps. The curtains are heavy as theater. Champagne sweats in a bucket like it's breathing. The air smells like perfume and polished wood, and a city that has been old for too long to care about you. Your body is exhausted from the road, but your mind won't shut up. The tour itinerary has been a chain for weeks, dates stacked like bricks, cities blurring into each other, the same questions, the same lights, the same demand that you be the same person every night. Your throat is failing you, and the worst part is you can feel it happening in real time, like sand slipping through your fingers. Every time you open your mouth, your voice feels less like yours and more like something you're borrowing until it breaks. You try sprays. You try rest. You try pretending you're fine, because that's the only acceptable answer when a machine this big asks how you're doing. But your body keeps betraying you. Your stomach pain claws at you like an animal that lives under your ribs. You can't eat right. You can't sleep right. The room is too quiet, so your thoughts get louder. Fame is supposed to make you untouchable, but it's the opposite. It makes you easier to handle. Everyone has a way of holding you now, by the schedule, by the money, by the story they've already written about you. And then morning is tubes and bright lights, and the humiliating weight of your own body refusing to move. Your nose burns. Your lips are cracked. Someone speaks in a language you don't fully understand, but you understand the tone. They're talking about you as if you're not there. You try to lift your hand, and it feels like lifting a wet blanket. Panic crawls up your throat. You want to scream, but your voice is a ghost. You write instead. Your fingers shake around the pen. The paper tears a little. The message is simple, furious, childish, honest. Get these tubes out. They do, eventually. You breathe, raw and ugly, like you're learning it again. You're alive, and being alive feels like being caught. Back in Seattle, everything smells like damp wood and cold water and the inside of your own house, which is too big now, too exposed. The lake is beautiful in a way that makes you angry. Beauty doesn't fix anything. It just gives pain better lighting. Your home is full of silence that never stays silent. The phone rings. The doorbell rings. The walls feel thin even when they're not. You can't step outside without imagining a camera behind a tree. You put on a hat when you don't want to be recognized, but you can feel recognition anyway, like a hand on the back of your neck. They tell you people are worried. They tell you people love you. They tell you to rest. They tell you to get help. The words pile up around you like sandbags, and somehow you're still drowning. 2 weeks later, there's a pounding at the door, and the sudden, sharp smell of adrenaline in the air. Your own, someone else's, it doesn't matter. An argument becomes a crisis in the time it takes a voice to rise. Someone calls the police. Blue light flickers on walls that have seen too much. An officer's belt creaks when he shifts his weight. His radio hisses. He looks at you with that practiced calm that says he's seen worse, and he's seen the same. Your hands feel empty and dangerous at once. You try to explain yourself, but explanation is just another way to lose power. They open closets. They move through your rooms like they're inventorying a store. Metal clinks. Boxes of ammunition are stacked like proof. Pills rattle in a bottle like a warning bell. Your life becomes objects on a list. You watch them carry guns out of your house, and it's supposed to be safety, but it feels like a verdict. The myth is that you're in control because you're famous. The reality is that control is something other people practice on you. Outside, the night is cold enough to bite. Inside, your chest burns with shame that has nowhere to go. A few days after that, they come to your living room with love disguised as strategy. Friends, bandmates, management, people who have held you up, and people who have also been held up by you. They sit in chairs like a tribunal, and you can tell they've rehearsed. Someone's hands keep folding and unfolding. Someone won't meet your eyes. Somebody's voice shakes, and they hate themselves for it. They give you choices that aren't really choices. Get help or lose everything. Go to treatment or the band is done. Stay alive or be left behind. For a moment, you want to laugh because the irony is too sharp. They're begging you to be saved. But the saving comes with terms and conditions. Your existence is being negotiated like a contract. You try to be charming. You try to be reasonable. You try to be invisible. Nothing works. The room is thick with fear, and fear is contagious. You can feel it changing you, rewriting you from the inside. When they finally leave, you go downstairs and pick up a guitar because it's the only thing that doesn't demand you explain yourself. Strings bite your fingertips. Sound vibrates through the wood into your chest. For a few minutes, it almost feels like you still belong to you. Then the phone rings again. 3 days later, you're in a gun shop, and fluorescent lights make everything look sick. The air smells like oil and rubber and old carpet. A friend stands beside you, trying to act normal, trying to treat this like errands. The clerk's eyes flick from your face to your hands and back, the way people do when they recognize you and don't want to admit it. You say it's for protection. You say there are trespassers. The words come out flat, because if you put emotion into them, they'll turn into confession. Money changes hands. Paper changes hands. A receipt exists now. The shotgun is heavier than you expect, not in weight, but in meaning. It's an object the system can understand. A thing that makes people react. A thing that turns worry into action. Your friend offers to hold it for you, like he can hold the future by holding metal. You refuse. You don't even know why. Maybe it's pride. Maybe it's panic. Maybe it's the last small control you can still touch. On the way out, the bell above the door rings. Cheerful and stupid, the world keeps making normal noises. A day later, you're on a plane, and the cabin air is dry and recycled, like breathing through paper. Your bones ache, your stomach twists, your hands look too thin. The seatbelt clicks, and you hate that click because it sounds like another lock. They drive you from the airport to the rehab facility, and every street looks like it's filmed before. Palm trees, sun, billboards. The city is bright in a way that feels cruel. Inside, it's forms and signatures and rules, spoken gently so they sound like care. No leaving, no secrets, no substances. Be honest, submit. You nod, because nodding is easier than arguing. They put your name in their system. Your fame turns into a line on a chart. You are admitted. That first night, the mattress feels like punishment. You stare at the ceiling and listen to the building breathe. Someone coughs down the hall. Someone whispers to someone else, and the whisper is full of hunger. In the common area the next day, you watch a man with shaking hands fail to hide how bad he's doing. His skin is gray. His eyes are too bright. He tries to joke, but it falls apart halfway through. A staff member leans close and speaks softly, and the softness is a blade. The man gets escorted away, not violently, just firmly, like moving furniture. The room pretends not to watch, because watching feels like volunteering. You learn fast. The punishment here is not pain. The punishment is being handled. That afternoon, a woman across from you picks at a styrofoam cup until it breaks. She's been here longer. She knows the rhythms. She tells you, without looking up, that the walls aren't to keep you safe. They're to keep the place safe from what you'll do when you're desperate. You don't answer. You can't. If you answer, you'll confirm you belong here. Later, the phone call comes, and you hear a voice you love, and it doesn't comfort you. It tightens a knot. You say something that sounds like goodbye without meaning to. The silence on the other end goes heavy. You can feel the consequences forming, like thunder building behind mountains. By the third day, you look in a mirror and almost don't recognize the clean version of you. Your eyes still look hunted, but your skin has color. Your hair sits differently. For a second you think, maybe this works. Maybe you can step out of the story everyone wrote for you. Maybe you can make music quietly with someone who understands quiet. Maybe you can be a father without being a headline. That hope is warm. It's also dangerous because hope makes you careless. That evening, you step onto the patio for a smoke, and you climb the wall, and you're free in the simplest, stupidest way. Muscle over brick, breath over rules. 2 days later, you're back in Seattle, and the air feels like a wet cloth against your face. The city is familiar, but now it feels like it's waiting. Every corner has a memory. Every memory has teeth. Your credit cards stop working. Your phone rings until it doesn't. People search for you with love that looks a lot like surveillance. Private investigators, friends, family. Everyone becomes a set of footsteps behind you. You pass a park and hear teenagers laughing, and for a second, you want to join them, to be anonymous and young and stupid again. But then you catch a word, your name, and the laughter turns into a murmur. Heads tilt, eyes land on you, recognition spreads like a stain. You keep walking, your hands stay in your pockets, your shoulders pull inward. You can feel the counter in the air ticking up. Suspicion, attention, danger. 1 week later, your mother files a missing person report, and you can feel that even without hearing it. A missing person is no longer a man. A missing person is a case. A missing person is paperwork that gives strangers permission to look for you. You drift through days that don't feel like days. Time slips, hunger comes and goes. Sleep comes in short, jagged pieces. Your body demands relief, and relief always asks for payment. Every small comfort comes with its own leash. You think about your daughter, and the thought hits you like cold water. You picture her face and the soft, warm weight of her against you, and then you picture headlines using her as a prop. You imagine social workers and lawyers and strangers deciding what kind of father you are by reading about you. You can feel the system tightening. Not just the music industry, not just the media, but the whole net of institutions that can reach into your house and take what you love under the banner of protection. You are terrified, and terror makes you stubborn. You are stubborn, and stubbornness makes you alone. Over time, until one day you realize the cruelest contradiction of all. The more people say they need you, the less room there is for you to be human. Your pain is profitable. Your recovery is marketable. Your collapse is a story people can tell at parties. Even your silence has value because it creates demand. You are not a person to the machine. You are a function. You are a symbol. You are a problem to manage before the next release date. And once you see that, you can't unsee it. 3 days later, you stand in a room above a garage, and the glass makes the world look slightly distorted, as if you're already at a distance from it. The air is still. Dust hangs in the light. The house below is quiet in a way that feels staged, like the whole place is holding its breath. There's a stool. There are doors. There are ordinary objects that suddenly feel like witnesses. You sit, and the pen feels heavy. You write, because writing is the last place you can be precise. Your hand shakes, and your letters lean, but the words come anyway. They come with grief. They come with fatigue so deep it feels like gravity. They come with a strange tenderness toward the people you love, and a brutal honesty about what you can't carry anymore. Outside, the world keeps moving. Cars pass. A bird lands somewhere and then leaves. Somewhere far away, a phone rings and rings and rings. You think about how they will find you. You think about fingerprints, about IDs, about how even in death the system will insist on verification. You think about the electrician who is coming to install security, because of course even your house needs more locks now. You think about cameras in trees. You think about how the word security has chased you for years and never once made you feel safe. You understand, with a clarity that hurts, that the trap was never the drugs alone, or the tour alone, or the fame alone. The trap is that everyone needs you to be a certain kind of suffering, dramatic enough to sell, controlled enough to continue, and you are so tired of being useful. In the end, the bitter joke of power is this. The world calls you unstoppable, but you spend your days being moved from room to room by other people's fear. Your last private thought is not about being a legend. It's about being allowed to be small, unseen, and finally quiet.